Welcome to Aspie Chats from Geek, Alabama. In this podcast, join Nathan Young as he discusses his feelings, thoughts, and outcomes dealing with life on the autism spectrum. Now, from his home, here's Nathan Young.
Well, hello everyone. This is a special Aspie Chats podcast. I'm working on some new podcast feeds and some new podcast ideas, but Aspie Chats will be one of the podcasts I do. I'm hoping to make it a weekly thing, probably on Fridays. But I wanted to do this Aspie Chats to talk about my 36th birthday, which is August 15th. And I'm posting it on the day of my birthday. And in the last year of my life, there's been a bunch of turmoil. There's been a bunch of bullying online and in person. I've had a lot of people hate against me. I've had a ton of bullies. I've had people threaten against me. I've had a lot of rejections, a lot of loneliness and depression because of all the bullying and threats that are launched against me by people online and in person. I've got a few people that like me, but it's way more people that hate me than like me. And at the same time, at the house where I live, I'm hoping it doesn't collapse upon itself with all the structural and ceiling and issues going on with it. So you can understand why I'm kind of feeling depressed and lonely and just not upbeat, not happy. I guess you get the idea about that. So in this podcast and in the written post I wrote, I want to talk about what I want to do in the next year and what's happened to me in the last year. A lot of people don't know about everything that's happened, including some of my family members. And I just grow tired of being rejected, being bullied, feeling like crap, and being lonely. I mean, I just want to live a good life where I have people that listen to me, that respect me, want to be around me. I wish I could have a pet with me so I'm not feeling lonely. Have a reliable job and house where I feel comfortable not having homeless people or crime or a house could be collapsing upon itself. And just fun experiencing good things. I like to go on a vacation maybe. I like to go do something fun instead of sitting here every weekend being lonely. It's not fun. So the first thing I want to do in the next year is, it's obvious, and this is where a lot of the bullying and harassment comes from, is my health. Yeah, I know I'm overweight. I've been overweight most of my entire life. I mean, in the last few weeks, I've had a colonoscopy. I had a tube put down into my stomach as well. Everything from my mouth to my other end was checked. No cancer, no ulcers, thankfully, which is the good news. They did find some acid reflux damage, and they did remove a few polyps, which surprised the doctor as he said that to me. At the same time, other than the colonoscopy and the endoscopy, I guess what you call it, I've had 3 iron IV infusions. I've been anemic as well. So, while this is happening, while I've had the iron infusions, while I had the colonoscopy, I've had numerous doctors and nurse practitioners all say the same thing, that I need to lose weight. A lot of them have suggested the gastric sleeve procedure, which is something I've been studying into. The doctor who did the colonoscopy suggested gastric bypass, but the main doctor I have just says she will not do that to anyone because she's seen people die from it. So it's probably going to be more gastric sleeve, which is okay, but the problem is it's a cost. Let's face it, it's a cost. When you're living on Social Security disability and barely earning income to begin with, how are you going to pay for it? I mean, you have to ask that question very well. That's just what it is, you know. You have to ask that question because you gotta afford to pay it, right? I've been overweight my entire life, and when you're constantly bullied, abused, lonely, and neglected throughout your entire life, from your childhood to now, your comfort is eating. I mean, you gotta have a comfort or something, and when you have no one to talk to, when so many people are against you, food's your comfort. I mean, it really is. Not lying about that. And believe me, I've been badly abused and neglected throughout my entire life, and, just have to accept that. Along with the abuse, I live for hardly any income and live on Social Security disability and a little bit from a part-time job. Medicare, which I'm on, I'm 35, 36, and on Medicare. Is that crazy? Does not cover weight loss medications, as I've learned. So how are you going to afford that? It will cover the gastric sleeve procedure, but it won't cover the medications and the appointments I got to do to try to lose a little weight to have the gastric sleeve procedure. So, counterproductive, as you would say. So, it's just impractical. I mean, right now I take 7 medications. That list might probably grow. And what will happen next, I have no idea. I mean, I would like to learn workouts. I like to see a nutritionist. I like to join something where I can work out with other people, but all that costs money, right? I'm not lying about that. Money, money, money. So, until I get the income I need to do things, I'm just wondering how long until I have a heart attack or stroke and I die. Because that's how society treats us today, with people with disabilities. I just wish obviously would just die and disappear. Harsh, but I'm not lying about that. So here's the second thing I want to do. And I'm scrolling the list I wrote on my other screen here. Throughout my life, I have had major problems finding jobs. I mean, having a disability and having autism, it makes it much harder to find anything. I mean, it really does. I don't tell any employer I have autism, but a lot of them figure it out. I mean, before the TV show, I remember literally having a count on my wall of all the job rejections. It was over 1,000. This is before the pandemic, before 2020 and all that. So without the TV show, The Employables I was on, I'd probably still be unemployed right now and living on Social Security disability. I'm just being honest about that. That's probably what would happen. I mean, what can you do when so many people reject those with disabilities in our society? Not lying about that. So, when I'm looking for jobs, because at the part-time job I work at now in the highway department, I'm still making $8 an hour, and that's been about 4 years now. I've only been making $8 an hour, and with inflation and everything getting more expensive, $8 an hour doesn't go very far, doesn't it? So, the thing is, I can't handle a fast-paced job. That means no restaurant jobs, or jobs that make me move fast. I will drastically break things if that happens, and I might even hurt people, which I have done before. I mean, of course I wish I could find something that's more than $8 an hour, but we'll have to see about that. I mean, the highway department I work at now, there's just not enough work to make it full-time. That's just being honest, and a lot of times I just sit around and do nothing during the day. And, how people are picky on wasting taxpayer money on things. So, I've been looking for other jobs. I mean, I'm not lying about that. And there's been 2 jobs I've almost got recently. One job, I got rejected because of my political beliefs. Yeah, because of my political beliefs. I'm a liberal. Alabama's mostly conservative, and this company is deeply conservative, and they've even sent some of their employees to Trump rallies. So when they found out I'm a liberal, they cut me off. The other job, they eventually found out I had a disability before I could connect with them, and they just shunned me. I didn't get the job. It didn't work out. I left. Oh well. That's the world we live in with some people with disabilities and autism. A lot of people just shun us. They don't care about us. That's why 80% of people with disabilities are not in the labor force in this country. That is true. Mostly everybody with a disability does not have a job in this country. And that's shameful. That's bad. And other people have been saying, why don't you go to school? Why don't you go to college? Blah, 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 blah. Hey, that's great. Great plan. How am I going to pay for it? How am I going to support myself? I can't handle going to school and doing a job at the same time. And for those with autism who have a 4-year degree, it's estimated only 20% have a job. The other 80% are unemployed. So going to school and getting a 4-year degree does not automatically mean I'm going to find a job afterwards. No, it doesn't mean that. So, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not lying about that. That's statistics I found online, and that's probably accurate. A lot of people with autism are unemployed because society shuns us. And how am I going to support myself? So, yeah, I like to find something where I can get off Social Security, disability, and get better health coverage, health insurance. And I like to show off my creative side. But will I find something one day? Maybe. But more likely, probably not. And I'll probably be stuck on disability for the rest of my life. Third thing, I like to build my portfolio and what I do here on Geek Alabama. I do a lot of amazing things here on Geek Alabama, from writing, photography, videography, interviews, reviews, stories, showing off my creative work, and much more. Too bad I barely make any money off of it. So, I wish somebody would hire me because of work I do online, but that hasn't happened. So my next phase is to launch a few new podcasts, including a daily news podcast that has a perspective from someone with a disability like myself. Which I think that's important because perspective and voices with disabilities is almost non-existent, and we need more of that in our world today. I like to show off more on my creative side with more drawings, paintings, crafting, cooking, and more. Wherever I get to do that, maybe. I would like to have more space in a house, including a bigger kitchen and an artist table, so I could do more things. But the house I live at now, that ain't gonna happen. So off to the next step. I like finding another place to live and get a pet. I mean, I've been living at the same house for a few years now. And the reason why I live here, it's cheap. I only pay $275 a month where I live at here, and the house is falling apart. I mean, in the past year or two, I've had rain go through the ceiling, part of the floor sinking, meaning there's foundation issues. In the bathroom, I've had to use a ton of canned foam to cover up all the holes in the walls around the shower area. So I try not to shower as much where I live at because the water will go through the holes and cause more foundation issues. So, yeah. And there's so many cracks in the walls throughout the house that I've caulked up or used foam to try to avoid pests from coming in, like ants and all that, roaches and all that. And where I live at, we've had a lot of homeless people. There's an issue with that, and there's been crime from drug bust, arguments, gunshots, drunk driving wrecks, and more. And that house where I live at, I can't have a pet. I can't even have a service pet. That's in the lease agreement, and I'm not going to violate that. So, for me to move, I would need to earn more income. The city where I live at here in Alabama is very cheap and affordable. There's a lot of cheaper places to move to that's not that expensive. But to do anything, I need to earn more income. So I just wonder how long until the house collapses upon itself. And no, I'm not doing roommates anyway. No roommates because I can't handle that, and that will not end very well. So, one more step I want to work on. It's mental health and building autism and disability awareness, which is a big problem. Throughout my life, my mental health has been poor. Going through my childhood, experiencing all the mental and physical abuse from my family members and other people really does affect you for the rest of your life. It really does. I mean, it's like a soldier who experienced PTSD or somebody who was sexually assaulted. You remember that stuff for the rest of your life. You'll never forget it. So, I don't know. I mean, that's the truth. I'm not lying about that. Even today, experiencing the major amounts of bullying and harassment online and in person really does affect yourself. I get a lot of people online and in person who hate me and bully me and harass me. And combined with all the rejections I currently get, and no wonder why I feel depressed. I want to go see a therapist. I wish I could go see a therapist, but money and income is the problem there. It's a pipe dream. I mean, until I earn more income, it's a pipe dream. So while I struggle with my mental health, I also continue to struggle with my autism and disability. There's a lot of rejection and bullying happening against those with autism and disabilities in our society, even today. A lot of people just don't like those with disabilities and autism. We wish we would just hide away from society and never be seen again. I experienced that a lot. A lot of people with disabilities and autism get passed over from everything, including jobs, careers, art engagements, opportunities, and much more. Good example of this is that I got very excited when I got contacted by someone who wanted me to speak about my life with disability and autism at an event here in Alabama. Thought I was going to get ready to go do this, and then I got the rug pulled out from under me because they canceled my engagement. That happened so many times throughout my life. I mean, you get so worked up that you can finally share your story. You can share what you do great, and then the rug gets pulled from under you and nothing happens. Happens a lot. And it's disappointing, but that's the truth. And there's a lot of missed opportunities and hate against those with disabilities. We are often ignored and told to hide from society. I see this all the time with myself and other people. I mean, I'm trying to not let that stop me. And I'm going to continue to create things here on the Geek Alabama site, even though a lot of people hate me. Even though that means more hate and bullying, many people need to learn that people with disabilities are good people and that just wants a chance. That is true. And there you have it. I just hope my 36th year on this planet is way better than my last year. I just grow tired of being ignored, bullied, and lonely. Maybe things will get better. Maybe things will get better. Thank you for listening or watching this podcast, and I hope my 36th year on this planet is way better than my last year. Thanks for watching and listening.
Thank you for listening to Aspie Chats. For more stories, videos, coverage, and podcasts, log on to geekalabama.com.